What's up, guys? Today we're going to go over how to use a block tester kit. I'm going to do it on my Suzuki Cara here because I'm not sure if I need one of these. This is a Monster Sport metal head gasket. You can see it says Monster here, kind of. How thick is this one? This is the 1.4 millimeter, so this is like the stock size. I'm not sure if I actually need this. Let's open this up and take a look. I've never used this before, but I've seen the instructions. It seems reasonable. This is the test fluid. It's supposed to turn yellow in the presence of CO2. This is the little doohickey that you fill some test fluid in, and then you use the little pump to kind of suck some air from the coolant tank. So as you guys know, I took my car on the track. There was a lot going on, so I wasn't paying attention, and my car really got hot, and everything was pegged out, like 140 something and 120 something for water temp, oil temp, and everything. And it boiled all the coolant out. Everything was gone. The car seems to be okay. The coolant and oil didn't mix, but it still seems to run hot. I'm not exactly sure why. I think that block tester is probably the best way to troubleshoot, because my last remaining ideas are that there's some crud in the system that worked up and now further clogged my radiator, or the head gasket's gone and there's combustion gases getting into the coolant. Am I losing coolant on the floor? I am not. Okay. My coolant level did change a little. It's not as full as it was. Let's talk about a few things. So, like I said, there's no coolant in my oil. There's no oil in my coolant. And my exhaust does not smoke white. It doesn't smell like anything other than catless cancer, because that's what's going on in here. So, the car is currently cold. I'm going to open this up so I can get my kit set up. I'm going to dry that little mouth there. I'll wipe up the mouth so I don't get my little test kit contaminated or something. I don't know. Because you're not supposed to get coolant into that rubber thing, so it'll mess with your results and you'll have to start all over and clean up your little tube. As you can see, the car is running. There's no smoke coming out of the exhaust. Smells like poison. The car seems to idle pretty well. It doesn't seem rough. This doesn't look abnormal to me. That's good, but looking in here, nothing's really happening. Coolant's shaking from the vibration of the car. The best way to check is with that block tester. Alright, so this is how it works. It's very simple. You get your kit. It's like a nice rubber thing. You kind of just fill it up with the test fluid level up to the fluid level line, and then you can either do it through this hole or you can take the cap off and fill it from there. I'm going to do it like this because I don't want to get that part wet. And I gotta let my car warm up. It's starting to get warmed. You can see it's slow idle now because it's warmed up, but nothing out of the ordinary here. I gotta run this till it's warm enough for the thermostat to open. It's still at 40 Celsius. It's starting to pick up a little bit there. So I'll come back in a bit. See, now when you want the car to heat up, it doesn't heat up that fast. It's been a little while, and it's currently at 64 Celsius. So I'm gonna start doing the test around like 80 or so. So I've still got some time to go. However, I guess I could talk about my track experience while I did this. So while I do this, let's start from the beginning. All right, so it's cool at these events. They give you an instructor if you're a newbie, beginner, novice, whatever you want to call it. I believe it's mandatory, at least until like the instructor feels you're comfortable, or if you think you're comfortable that you're good enough. It was really cool. So I had someone that was experienced. He had a pretty cool M2 race car. It even had air jacks. I looked at the little thing in the back. I'm like, ooh, I want air jacks. But that's a really cool looking sports car that he had, like an actual track car. So he got to try my car out. He liked it, and then we swapped, and I kept going and going. It was difficult for me because let me see. Point buys is how you like tell people that you're letting them pass because they're going faster than you. I'm gonna get this out of my window because it wasn't there. I'm new, and so especially in the beginning, I was very slow. The first like 2 laps or so. Doing a point buy while like listening to the instructor telling me how to do the different things, like where he thinks the best lines are or where he knows the best lines are. Focusing on that and then determining, oh, somebody's behind me, I gotta let him go or something. While I'm driving, shifting, whatever, I have to bend my arm back, out, and then now also I'm right-hand drive, so left is now with like an arm up like this, and then right is like this. For the most part, everyone passed this on the left. I don't think I had anyone pass me on the right. Anyways, this is not the best easy motion to do while you're turning and doing all kinds of stuff. So the instructor actually ended up doing it for me, so he just, like, he would look and then point. I mean, I did something similar for him when he was driving, so I don't know, he became like the co-pilot, or I was his co-pilot when it was my turn. So that was pretty cool, it was interesting. I think once I get better at it and I can kind of keep up, the passing won't be as much of a thing, and then by then I can manage doing this kind of stuff. I think I have to go back to the same track, because that way I learn on the same track. Because if I go to a different track, the apexes, the braking points, everything will be different. So that would be troublesome, especially when I'm new. So I guess all my further events will be in Thompson, assuming my car is okay, if not next year. What else? There's a lot of different things. So I think my car did pretty well. A few things I have problems with is also still throttle control. I tend to overestimate how well the car can turn or manage like a fast maneuver, because how small I feel. It just seems like I can get away with it, like mentally, so I keep doing it. So being able to like think about where I have to slow down is very important for me to practice. Another thing is downshifting into second from third is a little problem for me. I don't do that very well. I gotta practice that too. Some of the difficult stuff that happened was I got used to like banking on the right to like let people by, and then when I was actually like, by the time I got up to speed and where I kind of just drove and I was okay and I didn't have to let everybody by, I got so used to taking the line of getting out of the way, like I was forgetting how I was actually supposed to do it. And the instructor was like, hey, you're supposed to be over here because like you go this way around the apex. But then it's like, oh, I got stuck with, oh, I was keeping right to let people go, but there's no one around me. So there's little stuff like that. But unfortunately, I think if I had the whole day, it would have been better, because I would have gotten the hang of all of it, and probably theoretically I would have been okay. But I only got one full session and then my car cooked. It was like around 11 a.m. when that happened. Then I waited till like lunchtime. Lunchtime was a fun adventure. My buddy Peter, he took me out in his Miata to go get like supplies. I got coolant, I got some extra oil just in case. So his car started, then he went to McDonald's with me, I got some food. The car started again, he went to go get gas, and then the car wouldn't start. So that was a fun adventure. I got to bump start a Miata with him. We just kind of pushed it from like there's like a little slope and then we got an incline. Bump start because no start, and then he found that like his blower fan doesn't work, his power windows don't work, and the starter doesn't work, but it's like weird stuff. Everything else seemed to be okay. Turned out while I was working on my car putting coolant in it, he found out that he had a loose wire under the dash, so he fixed that and it was all fine and dandy. After all that, I put the coolant in, I kind of burped the system best I could at the track with what I had. Oh, I borrowed someone's tools. Oh man, so I mean, of course, I didn't bring any tools. Like I said in my prep video, he's like, I don't need those, but I'm stupid, I should bring tools, or at least something. So I borrowed some tools, and it's like a full set of like tools in like the Craftsman box, like that kind of stuff. But it's like all this stuff was like oily, man. Like, who does that? I was like, I didn't have a choice because, like, you know, beggars can't be choosers. So I borrowed it, I used it, my hands were all icky, whatever. But I was able to clean them up because I got some hand wipes from Peter too. So at least I could put whatever I used back and not make it oily or keep it oily. So there was that, and then I decided, hey, my car seems to be okay, let's take it out on the track. So I took it out on the track. I got about 3 laps in after. Then I noticed the car was getting to like 110. I was like, all right, I think I'm done. So pulled over, I pitted out, and then I parked for a little bit, let it kind of cool down, then I just kind of decide that I needed to go home. I was gonna drive it home because it seems okay, and then it was not okay, and my buddy happened to be behind me, so I got him to come in front of me. He happened to have some straps, and he pulled me to his house. We tried a few things, and then I drove home from there, and oh man, If you watch the prior video, you can watch my despair of like 3-hour something drive going 71 miles total. It was absolutely horrible. Plus I had the heat on, it was hot, but I had that AC tube and that thing works pretty well. Looks like my car's up to temperature here. And let's go put the block tester thing set up in and find out if I have a head gasket problem. I hope I don't, but if it is what it is, so let's go. So I'm supposed to do this, pump this for about a minute to aerate the whole system. And if I have a problem, the liquid will turn yellow. So let's find out, fingers crossed. Now, I'm going to rev up the car. I don't know, am I supposed to rev? Is the engine warm enough? Ensure the thermostat's open. Leave the engine idling during the test. Coolant must be warm and circulating while test is in process. Okay. I mean, so I'm not supposed to rev it. I don't have a leak. Wow. Now what? My radiator just clogged? Just for the heck of it, I'm gonna rev up the engine a little bit. I mean, we already got a good test, I guess. There's a minute. My fluid is still blue. I'm so happy right now. I think. I'm not sure if I'm actually happy now, actually. All right, just to make sure this stuff actually works, I'm gonna suck it in from the exhaust here to see if it actually really works. Yeah, you can see it. It's turning green. Stuff does work. See? See? It's yellow now. So there's none of this in here. Oh, okay. I'm happy. The car's gotten up to about 95 Celsius here, idling. Nothing seems to be wrong. The fan is now turned on. Radiator fan is working. But all right. I think I'm okay. All right, now that I've confirmed that it seems like it's okay, I gotta let some of the coolant out so I could pour this into the system and run it for a little bit. All right, there's 22 ounces of this stuff. I'm gonna have a hose here, I'm using a little tub. I'm gonna collect the coolant I drain out. Try not to make a mess, you know. I'm just gonna open this bleeder valve thing here, petcock, and let it flow. There we go. Oh, it says I'm supposed to use water. Uh-oh. That's probably fine. Alright, I'm driving right now. My son's with me. We're going out for a little ride. The car is running a little hotter than usual, but it's not getting worse than it was on my trip back from the track. So I don't know what's going on. I did put that flush stuff in the car. I drained about 20 something ounces of coolant out, and then I put the flush stuff in, and I've been driving around kind of cycling through the car. I don't know, it seems to be okay. It is still a little bit hotter than usual, but it's okay. So I'll update you guys in the next time I have something to update. Alright, I was driving on the highway for a little bit. No different than on my way home from the track. I only got as hot as 102 Celsius. So the car is doing a little bit better. I don't know why, but that's just how it is. And now since I'm going back into the city, I'm gonna slow down a little bit off the exit here. I'm expecting that to cool down some. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. We've stopped at a playground to play for a while, and the car's cooled down to 90. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, it seems like the car is behaving normally here. It does get hotter than usual than it used to, but it is behaving properly. It seems like the coolant is cycling, so I think the water pump is working properly too. It doesn't make any weird noises, it doesn't do any of that stuff. So when you accelerate and the coolant kind of just starts to move, it goes down, it goes out of that little tube that goes into the overflow tank, and it certainly seems like it's working. So I'm gonna drive around some more and get it through the system here. We're gonna go have lunch. Got my kid for the day because everybody's at work, and we'll go hang out and drive around, you know, little stuff like that. All right, we are here to troubleshoot my cooling issue now. Let's take a look at what's going on down here. I took this cover off already. It's good I did that because this is wet with coolant, and this is probably how rust starts, if you get like coolant kind of tucked away. Plus it hasn't gotten hot enough for me to heat that up to evaporate it. So I'm gonna rinse that off when I bring it outside. There's a lot of junk in my radiator. Like, I don't get it. There's nothing in the condenser. Why is it all in here? There's like, look at all these little rocks and pebbles and stuff. There's like, if you look in here, there's like stuff. There's just tons of stuff. This is probably why my cooling doesn't work that well. But this radiator is tiny. Like, what is this? It's like one thumb's width. I mean, my thumb's not that big. I lost this hose a long time ago. I just got a new one. I put that in. So I'm gonna do that thing where you do this to kind of level it with the high point of the tank in the back. So I'm gonna open this, kind of like hold this up with something. I don't know, just kind of do that for now, I guess. Oh wait, hold on. I'm gonna come back here. I'm gonna open this up. Oh, it smells like... I know you can't smell it, but it smells like burnt ramen. I guess it's not burnt. It's like a... what do you call it? What's that? What's that flavor? You know those packs of instant ramen, the beef flavor, the Maruchan one? That's what this smells like right now. It just smells like that broth. Anyways, I'm gonna take the cap off. I don't know if the cap is faulty. How do I know if the cap is faulty? I mean, the spring works, it's squishy. So my coolant level is about halfway between full and low there. Okay, I'm checking my manual. I translated it on my phone. Open radiator drain plug, remove radiator. Okay, so I'm not draining the thing. I'm just gonna try to burp it. So the cap is open. Blow the engine until the radiator inlet hose is hot. After replenishing the reservoir tank and cooling water while idling, attach the cap. Tighten the cap tightly so the ears point in the same direction. Okay. All right. So I'm looking in here. There's no bubbling. That movement is from the bottle being shook by the vibration of the engine. The engine sounds okay. I checked the oil again this morning before I did anything. It's still oil, so that's good. starting to get warm, but it's still not warm yet. All right, so let me, you know what, I'm probably doing this wrong, you know. I'm pretty sure this is above the tank. Well, it kind of stopped now, so maybe that's where it needed to go. I don't know. I watched the structure and maintenance video. I saw them do this, but I'm pretty sure they did this with the motor off. It's just clear coolant, nothing's bubbling, and it's spilling. Shut it off. Close the cap after I do that. I will. And make sure the orientation is like this with that like ejection pipe. Okay, now what? So I've been driving around for about 4 minutes. I started at 3 and I was driving like 6,000 RPM just to kind of hang on to them, and I got the temperature up to about 96 Celsius. I don't know what the temperature, it's 76 degrees outside, so it's warm, it's not that bad. And it seems to be holding there, and that's about what normal would be. So I'm gonna drive around some more and see if it kind of just stays there. I'll kind of maintain the 4,000 or 5,000 RPM thing and see how it goes. I also turned the heat off now. All right, I've basically been driving around like this, 3,000, maybe 4,000 RPM here and there. Slow speeds, kind of residential areas like this. My temperature has not really creeped over 100. It kind of tagged a little bit over 100, then it came back down to 100. So the only anomaly that I see now is my oil temps get really hot, like just kind of relaxing like this. So maybe my oil has broken down enough where it's not as I don't know, it's more heat conductive than it used to be. I don't know, is it thinner? It kind of breaks down as it ages. So maybe I'll change the oil and give it a try. My oil is a lot darker than it used to be, and of course there's always a driving school trying to do 3-point turns in front of my house in the most inconvenient times. Coolant level has risen a little bit, but it's not bubbling, it's not doing anything. Everything seems to be fine. This is also a good time to get the oil analysis done on my existing oil after I change it, I guess. I've been using this oil in my car. I've done 2 Blackstone analysis on it so far. I did it in like the initial because it says this is good for like 500 miles or something like that. I did about 500 and Blackstone said, hey, it all looks great, continue to use it. I mean, I was only using it on the street, so I didn't really beat on it. The second time I did another analysis after 2 autocrosses and a bunch more time. They also said that is good. You can see my results here, so you can compare the first and second. However, well, this is not a great indication, but when I take my dipstick out, the oil's a lot darker than it used to be now. It says it helps deliver exceptional high temperature protection, even at temperatures in excess of 400 degrees Fahrenheit or 204 Celsius. So my gauge in the sump only goes up to 140 Celsius and a little bit more. So I don't know, let's say it went up to 145, right? That's about 200, was it 284 Celsius? I mean 284 Fahrenheit. And then let's say it exceeded that, it went to 150. I have no idea what the peak is because it maxed out my gauge. So 150 Celsius is a little bit over 300 Fahrenheit. So it's still within the 400 degrees of high temperature protection, exceptional high temperature protection. Maybe it's just broken down enough after all this use that it's not good anymore? I don't know. So I'm going to get my truck out of here and bring the car in. I'll just do an oil change on it, inspect it, make sure there's no crap in my oil like metal. Oh no, a dragonfly. Whoa. Please leave. Don't get stuck in here. That's cool. I never knew we had dragonflies around here. That's cool. Anyways, so I'll switch the oil, go for a test drive. Hopefully that's good. I don't know. This sketches me out because it's not obvious what the problem is. Although, maybe it's obvious to one of you guys. I don't know. It's me. The problem is me. Well, this is weird. Never had my truck over here. First time. Also, first time it's somewhat mobile with the motor in it in about 10 months. So, anyways, here's my car up here. My markings are kind of faded because they were getting washed off by the coolant. That's pretty sad. I'll try to fix that. There's all this crusty coolant crap all over the place. Oh no. What's going on down here? Oh, I see oil. Let me get a light. Where's my light? That's probably all coolant, probably with a little bit of oil from the drippage. I guess it's not as bad as I originally thought. I know my turbo feed thing that's in there somewhere. I know that's seeping from the stupid crush washers I can't get figured out. I'll try to tighten that when I'm under here maybe. I don't know. I've got another one of these oil analysis kits here. Spending all this money on oil analysis just to find out about stuff. Oop. Okay, so I gotta fill this. When I drain that, I'm gonna let some run out, and then I'm gonna catch it in here, and I'll send this one off too. Classic oil change stuff. My oil temp sensor is here. I unplugged it and kind of tucked it out of the way. My drain plug adapter thing is 18 mil, so I've got an 18 mil wrench. Cracks open real easy because I didn't over torque it. Comes right out. Try not to drop it because it does have my electronic like plug end on it. Ooh, there we go. Look at that. Oh crap! I forgot. Stop. Come on. Just when I thought this was gonna go smoothly. Forgot the Blackstone thing. All right, let's get that back out. Catch some of this downstream. Okay. There we go. Now I can let all this drain out. All right. Good thing I remembered. I always pour a little bit more oil in just to kind of flush the little bit of it out just in case there's like a little bit stuck at the bottom, and it helps push the remainder out. So it was darker when it came out. Now it is golden like brand new oil. And now I'm gonna put my plug back, get under the oil filter, push the spring out of the way first, and then move that up. Okay, cool. Now that just comes right out. You can tuck it out of the way. I like to tuck it kind of up over here. What the hell is that? All right, that made a weird noise. Gotta get in there and twist it. It's really tight. There's like no space, but I didn't over crank this thing. Oh, I broke it free. I didn't over crank this, so it should come right out. There we go. We'll let that drain out first. All the oil's kind of just draining straight down, hitting the cross member, subframe support, center support thing, and it kind of just goes in. Let's see if I can just remove this completely. Just speed the process up. There we go. Speed the process up and making a mess. That's what I'm doing. It's kind of splashing a little. Splattering out. That's annoying. What the hell? See how it's getting all on top of there? On the nozzle? So now I have all this oil all over the place. Why do you have to do this? Why did they have to design it like that? Now is a great opportunity to check something. If I haven't lost it already. Okay, you know what? I gotta have dinner, but I'm gonna see if I can fit this in there while I have this open. I found a better way to tighten that turbo feed line. I think I got it. It might be good enough now, so I kind of cleaned off the area, and I will keep an eye on if there's any more drips from oil over there. The oil filter's back on. I'm ready to fill this with oil. And man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Guess what? Let's take a visit up here. So, I know why my car overheated. I know why. And it's because of this. What's that, you say? This is a metal scoop that kind of helps suck in air and direct it up at the radiator. Okay. You can see it's a little bit mangled here. Okay. Well, that's a problem. It's mushed up and completely, almost completely blocking the entire lower chunk of the radiator. So I'm not sure, I mean, there's still this, but this shoots it through the condenser. This one scoops it into the radiator right behind the condenser, which is, what, like a 2 fingers width. But the point is, this isn't right. All right, how do I fix this? I can't believe I paid $100 for this stupid thing. There's gotta be a better way. There's gotta be a better way to make a scoop for this. So I pulled it back out. It's better, but it's still kind of dumb the way it is. I don't understand. Oh man, can't believe this ruined my track day. Well, hold on, I'm making assumptions here. It might not have been this, but I think I bent it back to the way it's supposed to be. It's pretty straight now, don't you think? So you can see how there's a gap between the condenser and this thing, allowing air to get to the radiator. And you can see all that crap that's trapped in my radiator. So, this probably ruined my track day. I've got fresh oil in here. Let's give it a check. Huh. Well, it says I'm above the full. Oh, yeah, because I didn't run it yet. It's not in the oil filter and stuff. But look how clean that oil is compared to what it was. First startup, post checkup. Pretty normal. The engine was pretty quiet. The little loud clicking noise you hear now is that ISC valve. It just does that. I don't know why. But it all seems normal. Coolant is at a little bit under the full line. Looks good to me. I'm gonna shut it off for now. I'm gonna set up the seat so I could drive my kids to daycare. But then I don't know, on my way back, I guess, I'll see if I can get this up to temp to see if opening that scoop, like fixing the scoop, would fix whatever problem I'm having. All right, brand new pavement over here in my town, going to the gas station, and I am on E, man. It's below the line. I've never been this low before. Hopefully I can make it down the road over there to get gas. Everything seems to be fine so far. I dropped off my kid. The coolant temperature is slowly heating up like it should. I'm not really pushing the car because I'm just driving around town. Oil temperature isn't working. I know why. I forgot to plug it in, so I'm gonna see if I can plug it in at the gas station too. So all right, let's see how much gas this takes at below the line for E. Ooh, it's very venty. $4.62 a gallon.
Your chance to be an extra in a music video directed by Cole Bennett. Earn entries with every qualifying Speedy Rewards purchase. Exclusive speakers and headphones are up for grabs too. Enter now.
Wow, there it is. That's not so bad. I think I had so it's a 7 point something gallon tank. I think it's like 7.8. So I still had a gallon left almost. There we go. Alright, now I can see my temps. I got water temps at almost 80 Celsius, oil temps just below 60 Celsius. So let's give it a drive home and see if I overheat. So I've been sitting here idle for a little bit, and temps have creeped up to where I would expect them to be, maybe a little bit hotter than usual. And the fan has kicked on and it seems to have stayed there. Now if I start moving again, I expect that to fall. Let's see. I want to go somewhere where I can move faster. Over here. Ooh, dogs, puppers. Oh, it's working. I see it. The temps are dropping. These roads. Look, the temps have dropped and all I did was just roll down the street. That wasn't even happening at the track, because that whole stupid shroud was just completely mushed in, covering up the radiator. Oh man, I'm so upset and happy at the same time. I lost my whole track day for this. I still had a lot of fun, but I guess we're good for now. Car is okay. I'm gonna see if I can sign up for another track day, but this time I'm also gonna replace my radiator before I do it to the Navic radiator. So stay tuned for that, subscribe for more. See you next time. Maybe something's wrong. Maybe I'm just paranoid, but I'm gonna clean out my radiator. The fins are really dirty. I'm gonna blast it out with some air, and then I'm gonna go drive it around for a little bit just to make sure it didn't make a difference. And then I will use this coolant flushing, the cooling system flushing stuff, kind of run it through my system, and then I'll show you how to install a Navic radiator. All right, it's another day now. You can see here, I pushed the car forward a little bit. I have a little pool of coolant right there. I have some oil drippage. I forget if that was already on the floor or if it's actually coming from the oil feed line, so I'm gonna find out. I just put the car on the lift, so I'm gonna pick it up and let's go. I think I should close the doors. Alrighty then, I am definitely losing more oil than I was before. All I did was try to tighten that bolt. I don't know why that would make it worse. Anyways, there's a coolant leak. You can see this is wet. All of this is wet. Now, what's over here? Nothing's over here. Look up. You can see some crusties on that line, but it doesn't look fresh. Yeah, that doesn't look fresh. And over there, oh, I see it. Oh. Alright, so I've had enough. I actually replaced the banjo bolt and 2 new washers again. I was able to do it with my left hand just coming into this nook. It was relatively to do. I used a torque wrench this time. It called for 130 inch-pounds. It's like 150 kilograms per centimeter. That translates to roughly 10 foot-pounds, and that's what I just put in there. It doesn't feel like much. I hope that's enough. I've had enough of this oil drip here. Now to tackle the coolant leak, I'm going to clean this off. Well, no, I'll just tighten it first, then I'll clean it off. I tightened the coolant hose. It was a little bit loose. It just seemed really easy to turn. I don't know, maybe it just shook and backed out. I'm going to run the car in here because it's going to rain. I don't feel like moving the car and this stuff either, so I'm going to do shady stuff. Hope I don't kill myself because at least I have a ceiling fan on. Theoretically, it'll help push the air out. So I spent a little while now. I've just been in here driving the car on the lift, so just spinning the wheels. I've gotten the temperature slowly up to 90. It took its sweet time to get up here. I think it's working. I don't know. Let's look here. Coolant level's not moving. I should probably clean that up so I can see if I'm getting new leakage or not. Oh, it stinks. Oh, it stinks. I'm going outside. Whew. I'm gonna have to open this other door. This is terrible. Oh no. That blocks my ceiling fan. What I'm thinking now is if the thermostat isn't working, the car should have overheated by now. And it's only slowly starting to creep up here, as it has been doing for like the past like 10-15 minutes. So it looks like operating wise it's fine. The next thing is my water pump bad? I don't know. There's definitely coolant flow, so the water pump should be okay. And if the water pump isn't working, it would eventually overheat too, but it's been staying around like 100 or so pretty fairly consistently. I don't know what else to look at. The coolant leak seems to have been addressed by me tightening that hose clamp a little bit, so maybe I'm all set. That flush stuff may have cleaned up the gunked up radiator a little bit, but I still have to drain the crap out and then reflush and then clear the system. So maybe I could declare victory for now. I don't know. Let me see. All right, here it is. The radiator fan kicked on. I'm just driving down the road with no airflow. Okay, I've sat here for probably about 10 minutes now and just held my camera quietly until this dropped from 101-ish back to about 92. My cooling system looks like it works just fine, I think. So, I'll go for a final drive, I guess. I'll probably go pick up my son in the car. Yeah, I'll do that. And then, I don't know, I'll call this mystery solved, I think. It doesn't make any sense. I'm gonna turn the car off now. Watch that come back down on its own with just the radiator fan at idle. That's exactly how I would expect my cooling system to work. So I think it works just fine. The only variable that's changed since every little thing that I've done is adding that radiator flush stuff into my coolant. I've come up with so many different like theories, conspiracies, whatever. I've come up with so many of these things since I overheated, and you know, none of them really add up on their own. You know, I guess maybe clogging the radiator. So let's recap what I came up with. I overheated because I wasn't paying attention, and then it just kind of cooked. So maybe my thermostat was bad. Maybe my radiator is just not enough to handle like 9,000 RPM non-stop for like, I don't know, 5-10 minutes. Maybe the oil was getting a little bit worn, so the viscosity was not the same, and it was contributing to heating up faster, thus making the coolant heat up. I don't know, I'm just making shit up at this point. I also discovered the dirty crap in my radiator. I discovered that my air dam was completely mushed in and completely blocking the radiator. I started fixing each thing one at a time, and then it still wasn't good enough. It still got hot. I finally did the block test, and that seems to be fine. I guess I lucked out and dodged a head gasket bullet, and then I finally drained some coolant out. And actually, I thought about this. What if when my coolant boiled, it boiled the water content out of the coolant and the water in the like the 50-50 like mix is actually what helps with the cooling. If it was like pure antifreeze, it doesn't cool as well. So what if like the water content was just gone, and when I added more coolant, it just kind of made it closer to 50-50. I don't know. And then when I actually dumped some more out of the radiator, that started dumping some of the mix out. And then I added the radiator flush, whatever the heck that is. I read the ingredients. It had like water as like the first or second ingredient. So maybe I rehydrated the system. I don't know. So I think all those little random theories that I have, they don't contribute like enough to cause my system issue. But with them all combined, and as I've been working on them one at a time, maybe they kind of just fixed itself, you know? I don't know. So I'm gonna drive it around, I'll update again, and then anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm gonna dump the whole system and put the Navic radiator in for my next video. So like, comment, subscribe, tell me that I'm crazy about my conspiracy theories with what's going on here, because everything seems to be fine now. It was a long video. This was a good amount of troubleshooting that I did, and it was kind of nice to go through all of this, kind of just trying to figure each thing out. Maybe this will help you with your overheating issues if you have any. I mean, it's just a mid-engine car doing mid-engine shit. I went for a little drive here. I smell oil. It's probably not my lower banjo bolt that I thought it was. It might be the upper one. It might just be something else. I'm gonna have to look underneath the panel over here. But I went for that drive, and there's no victory to be claimed here. The car still runs hotter than usual. I got nothing, man. My whole conspiracy theories on everything, it doesn't matter. I've had enough of this. I'm gonna dump the entire cooling system, and then I'm just gonna put that radiator in. And then, I don't know. See you next time.